So for everybody, we started studying about the dermal tissue. What is dermal tissue? Like, give me some answers, something that you think it will or it is. Okay, skin. We can say something that is in the other phase. Remember that we were studying about the plants, so it will be the trunk. Okay, great. Protection, perfect. So we have two types of dermal tissue. We have the epidermis and the periderm. The epiderms have different types of cells: parenchymal cells, sclerenchymal word cells, and stomata or in trichomes. So the parenchymal cells, these are or don't have chloroplasts. They secrete waxy substances which form the cuticle of the plant or the waterproof covering over the aerial parts or surface of the plant, such as the stems or and leaves. Entonces, el tejido epidermis tiene varios tipos de células. Las células parenquimatosas, estas células lo que hacen es, primero, no poseen cloroplastos como lo hacen los otros tipos de células y secretan una sustancia como cera que va a formar la cutícula, una capa superior que va a estar cubriendo las partes aéreas de la planta, como los tallos, como las hojas, por ejemplo. Luego tenemos las sclerenchymal word cells, and swell and shrink by osmosis to open and close stomata. And the stomata are tiny pores which control the excessive of oxygen and carbon dioxide gases and release water vapor. Trichomes, the last one. They can be unicellular or multicellular and are hairy, vary in size, texture, density, and purpose. They can absorb water and minerals. So we can say that they will be like the roots, kind of like the roots. And the function is protection of my plant. Localization through the whole plant. So we're going to find these cells everywhere in the plant. Peridermal tissue, that's the other kind of tissue called bark or el tronco, and it's going to replace the epidermis in plants. So that under secondary growth, en un crecimiento secundario. Type of cells, we have, consists of crop cells, phloem, phloderm, and phloem crop combine. And the function protects the plant as well. As you say, dermal tissue are for protection or is for protection. And the periderm protects the plant from pathogens, injuries, and it prevents excessive water loss. Isolates the plants, protect and provide isolation for the plant. So it will maintain the temperature of the plant. It will maintain the amount of water in the plant. And location. Crop cells, first, are not living cells, and they cover the outside of the stem and roots. Okay. So these tissues constitute the body of the mature plant, and they perform specific functions that allows plant to survive. Flowers, fruits, seeds, fulfill a reproductive function. The leaves are in charge of the photosynthesis. The stems support the leaves, and reproductive structure transport water and nutrients inside the plant and produce new tissue. The roots anchor the plant to the ground, absorb water and salt from the soil, and store sugars. Okay, so now, what are the 4 types of tissue? You already saw that in the video. Okay, what are the 4 types of tissue? Please answer. What are the 4 types of tissues? Okay, muscle, connective, 2 more. Epithelial, 1 more. Nervous, perfect. What is the function of connective tissue? Okay, structure. What else? Support, binding and support, bind, support, defense, perfect. Epithelial tissue, function of epithelial tissue, protection, okay, secretion, protection, sense, okay, protection from pathogens, perfect, great. Function of muscle tissue, absorption, okay, muscle, movement, yes, heat, movement, heat, yeah, great, posture, yes. Nervous tissue, yeah, that will do muscle tissue as well, Pietro, pump blood, yes. Nervous tissue, what does nervous tissue do? Okay, it's made of neurons, transmit electrical signals. How do you know that I am touching you or you're hearing? How do you know what tissue is used? What tissue are we using? If you touch yourself, what the type of tissue is working? If you touch yourself or if you feel cold or very hot, nervous tissue. Okay, great. So the structure and organization of animal body as well. We know plants and animals have the same or similar kind of structures. Like it will have cells, then the cells will have, will make tissues, from tissues will make, the next level will be organs, and after the organs will have an organism. First systems and then organisms. So the epithelial, so in animal cells are similar in size, shapes, and arrangements, and the grouping together will form a tissue that has a specific function or secrete hormones that will regulate the metabolic processes. The main animal tissues can be classified in the 4 types, as we see right here: connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. So let's start with epithelial tissue. As you see right here, we can have different types of epithelial tissue. So the most epithelial tissues are essentially large sheets of cells covering all the surfaces of the body, exposed to the outside world, that will be like skin, for example, or lining the outside of organs. Skin is not the only area of body exposed to the outside. Other areas are exposed as well, including the airways, so our respiratory system or respiratory tract, digestive tract, urinary and reproductive systems. All of them are lined by an epithelium. Hollow organs, órganos huecos, hollow organs and body cavities y cavidades del cuerpo. As I was saying, so not just the skin will be covered by epithelial tissue, but other parts of our body. For example, airways, digestive tract, urinary and reproductive systems, hollow organs and body cavities, for example, blood vessels and serous membranes are lined by epithelial tissue. Function of this tissue, according to what we say, we have different function. So we have protection, one function. The epidermis covers the entire body and protects it from mechanical, chemical, or bacterial injuries. Absorption will be the second function. The epithelial tissue that lines the digestive tract absorbs nutrients and water. Secretion. Some epithelial cells are organized into glands and secrete cellular products such as hormones, enzymes, or sweat. Why we need to secrete sweat, or enzymes, or hormones? ¿Por qué necesitamos que nuestro organismo secrete? Hormonas, enzimas o sudor. Hormonas, ¿para qué? Enzimas, ¿para qué? Sudor, ¿para qué? ¿Por qué razón? Answers, please. Okay, to eliminate bad things, or we can call it toxins. Yes, another thing. Okay, that can go out with the sweat. Hormones. ¿Por qué necesitamos hormones? Why we need hormones? Yeah, sweat will eliminate substances. Yes. Okay, development, or if we are kids, then we need some hormones to grow, to develop our secondary characteristics of women or of men. Perfect. Enzymes, what do we need enzymes? Yes, Johnson. Perfect, poverty. Okay, enzymes, why do we need enzymes, guys? Synthesize, or if we put it in an easiest way, we can say a metabolic reaction in our bodies. If we don't have enzymes, we can't, or our body can't produce, can't synthesize anything, can't do any of the metabolic reactions that we need. Perfect. Another function of the epithelium tissue is sensation. So some epithelial cells specialize as sensory receptors that receive information from the environment. Types of cells. We have 3 types of cells: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. So squamous are like the flat, like you can see here is a simple squamous epithelium. The cells are flat, irregular round shape. Cuboidal tissue look like a cube, and central nucleus. And finally, we have columnar that are tall cells, narrow nucleus toward to the base, and nucleus along the cell. So here we have the cuboidal, simple cuboidal, where we find them in our body. Okay, next. The type of epithelial tissue, the location, and the function. So for example, we have some simple epithelium that is a single layer of cells. We find it in the blood vessels, kidneys, skins, and lungs. Function: facilitate diffusion and osmosis. So passage of material or water, or osmosis is the pass of water from one side of the cell to the other side of the cells according with the gradient concentration, de acuerdo al gradiente de concentración. Secretion, absorption, and protection. Stratified epithelium, multiple layer cells. Location: skin, portion of the digestive tract, for example, mouth, reproductive tract, vagina. Function: protection. Pseudostratified epithelium, we have the respiratory tract and male reproductive system. The function, secretion, protection, and movement of mucus. Okay, any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Guys, if you have questions, let me know, please. Mucus, el moco en nuestro organismo, por ejemplo, donde hay, además de tener los cilios, recuerden que teníamos los cilios que nos ayudan a remover el moco, a extraer sustancias, también el epitelio pseudoestratificado va a tener eso. What part, Pietro? What do you need to, you didn't understand? What part? Okay. How many types of epithelial tissue are we studying? 3. Simple epithelium, stratified epithelium, and pseudo-stratified epithelium. Then, simple epithelium is found, or we can find it in the blood vessels, kidney, skins, and lungs. Function, facilitate the diffusion and osmosis, meaning diffusion will transport proteins or different materials, amino acids, different materials. Vessels, blood vessels, los vasos sanguíneos. Secretion, absorption, and protection. Secretan sustancias, absorben otras y en general protegen al organismo. Stratified epithelium, we find in skin. It as well in portion of the digestive tract, as our mouth, or reproductive tract in women, that will be the vagina. Function, protection. Pseudo-stratified epithelium, it's found or is located in the tract, respiratory tract, and in the male reproductive system. The function, secretion, protection, and mucus movement. So the mucus needs to be moved from one part to a different part. So, yeah. Next. Okay, connective tissue. Function of the connective tissue. Function. Una función. And don't repeat it. If you see that somebody else wrote it, then you write a different one. Okay, functions of connective tissue. Structural, okay. Transport, yes. Support, defense. Yes, Daniela, it will keep or isolation, support, defense, perfect. Good guy. Yeah, good job, guys. So in the connective tissue, we have different types of tissue, and the connective tissues are made of a matrix or a substance that is between or in the cells. The matrix gives a tissue a density, and this intracellular substance contains microscopic fibers in the form of strands dispersed in the matrix. They have 3 types of specialized fibers. So these 3 types are collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers. Yes, it binds things together. Perfect. So the collagen fibers provide a strength to the tissue, preventing it from being torn or separate from the surrounding tissue. It is found in bones, cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. Provides resistance to the muscles. Elastic fibers, so the second one, these are made of protein called elastin. This fiber can stretch to one and 1/2 of its length and return to its original size and shape. So this is an elastic fiber. So it can go long or get smaller, and this provides flexibility to the tissues. Reticular fibers, the last one, are the third type, the protein fiber found in our connective tissue. These fibers consist of thin strands and collagen that form a network of fibers to support the tissue and other organs that are connected. Types of cells. We're going to have different types of cells in the connective tissue. So we have fibroblasts, macrophage, mast cells, plasmocytes or plasmatic cells, adipocytes, and osteocytes. So fibroblasts, the first one, are flattened cells and with branch extensions, and they produce the fibers and the complex of proteins and carbohydrates of the matrix. They take part of the healing. So fibroblasts are going to help with cicatrization. Macrophage. It comes from monocytes. Si vienen de los monocitos, ¿qué tipo de células serán? ¿O a qué pertenecen? Si estamos pensando son macrófagos, ¿en qué tejido están? A ver, estarán here, bones, cartilage, adipose, connective tissue, loose connective tissue, fibrous connective tissue. Los macrófagos, ¿en cuál están? A, B, C, D, E o F. ¿En qué grupo están? All these cells are eukaryotic cells. No, no están en el C, no son adipose tissue, porque el adipose tissue tiene adipocytes. Adipose tissue has adipocytes. It's a liquid tissue and it is all over your body. No, not bones. F, Emily, yes, F, blood. En la sangre nosotros tenemos células blancas, células rojas. Dentro de las células blancas vamos a tener los leucocitos, monocitos, eosinófilos y los demás. Entonces dice que los, macrophage provienen de, or originate from monocytes, blood cells. The morphology of these cells is variable according to the function, state, and location of the cells. And they are going to clean the cells. They are going to kill organisms or things that don't need to be in our systems. Mast cells, these cells act when we have allergies. Plasmocytes or plasmatic cells are originated from B lymphocytes. Los plasmocitos o células plasmáticas se originan a partir de los linfocitos B y van a secretar antibodies, es decir, van a secretar anticuerpos. ¿Para qué nos servían los anticuerpos? What is the function of antibodies? Okay, yes, Emily, pueden combatir algún virus. And just viruses protect our body, prevent issues, illness, protection. Yes, they are going to act against microorganisms. Van a actuar en contra de microorganismos. Perfecto. Great. Okay, adipocytes, where we find adipocytes. I already told you where we find adipocytes. Where we find adipocytes? No. Skin is epithelial cells, not connective. Okay, it could be, well, no. Adipocytes. Okay, let's see. In the adipose tissue, on the muscle. So let's see right here, the yellow tissue that you see right here is adipose tissue. And it has the cells of adipose tissue are the adipocytes. Okay, so the adipocytes now, they are cells that will store fat. White blood cells. I'm missing that here. White blood cells. Las células blancas. They are from the blood, and the function is defend our organism against the microorganisms that can come into our bodies. And osteocytes. These cells belong to the... Okay, osteocytes. What are osteocytes? And then I will answer your question, Belen. Osteocytes. Bones, perfect. They are found in bones. So it is bone tissue, and they are from the differentiation of osteoblasts, which derive from osteoprogenitor cells. So los osteocitos van a venir de los osteoblastos, que vienen de las células progenitorias osteoprogenitor cells. Okay, your question, Belén, why adipocyte is a connective tissue? Because if you think about our body, we have different layers, and all of those layers are going to connect something. In the case of adipose tissue, it's going to connect, so let's see, and it's going to protect. Connects and protects. So right here we can see the muscle. Between the muscle and the skin, we have a fat layer. This fat of layer is adipocyte tissue. Adipocyte tissue. And the adipocyte tissue is going to give us isolation, and it's going to give us energy or store energy in the adipocyte. So it's connecting our tissues among them. Example, we are going to find adipose tissue in our tummies. We're going to find some adipose tissue covering some organs, vital organs, so they connect with them. So that's why it is connective tissue, Belén. It's your questions answered. Has been your question answered? Yes or no? Yes, perfect. Okay. So the functions of the connective tissue, you're welcome, Belén. The functions of connective tissue, support and connect other tissues. So they are going to connect something with something. Protection against things that are outside of our body, that doesn't supposed to be in our bodies. Okay. For example, in this case, protection, if you think about the bones, they are going to protect our internal organs. And if you think about the adipose tissue around the organs, it's going to protect these organs from any injury, any disease. Defend our body from microorganisms. Here we have what type of cells. ¿Qué células tenemos que nos defienden de los microorganismos que no ingresen a nuestro cuerpo? Leucocitos, anticuerpos, todos esos a qué células pertenecen. Punto extra si me dicen el nombre de las células a las que pertenecen. 4, 3, 2, 1. No. Todas esas pertenecen a los glóbulos blancos, white blood cells, okay? Now, transport, because blood is a connective tissue as well, so it will transport nutrients, waste, chemical messenger that the blood or the lymph will need. Store energy. What is the type of tissue that stores energy and provides thermal isolation for my body? Okay, Daniela, what? Yes, I'm waiting. Okay. Adiposo. Good job, Paulo. Adipose tissue. Okay, any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Adipocyte. Yes, Paulo, you get it. You got it. Adipocito es la célula de él. Es la célula del tejido adiposo. Entonces, tejido adiposo era la respuesta correcta. Ok, questions?